Mesdames, Mesdemoiselles, Messieurs, bienvenue sur les réseaux de la Diaspora, Diaspora Network 24/7 TV. As you well aware, Diaspora Network TV is the web TV that presents the reality for the people of the diaspora. Today, Diaspora Network TV is honored, and I'm humbled to receive one of the senior members of the Canadian Federal Parliament, and I'm talking about Honorable Jim Karygiannis, which is the Liberal Member of Party, the critics for the ethnocultural. He would correct me through this interview. With him, we're going to be discussing a few subjects, but specifically the Canadian Parliamentary Friends of Congo. Mesdames, Mesdemoiselles, Messieurs, vous nous recevez à partir du monde. Aujourd'hui, les réseaux de la diaspora reçoivent avec beaucoup d'honneur un des représentants du Parlement canadien. Il s'agit bien entendu de l'honorable Jim Karygiannis, qui est un des plus anciens membres de ce Parlement. Alors avec lui, nous allons discuter de beaucoup de sujets, y compris spécifiquement les sujets de la création d'un mouvement lobbying qui s'appelle the Canadian Parliamentary Friends of Congo. Bonjour honorable, bienvenue sur cette émission.
Merci, bienvenue tout le monde. It's a pleasure for me to be with you. I want to thank Diaspora 24/7 for coming to my office to chat with me, and it's a real honor to be with you.
Today, comme je viens de le dire, nous sommes vraiment honorés d'avoir honorable. Ça fait un certain temps, it's been about 12 months. Honorable Jim Karygiannis has been personally engaged toward the crisis in Congo. Most of viewers, we have witnessed the group M23 in the eastern part of Congo. We had human rights violations and many other subjects which are still on the news. Honorable, for the last 12 months, you've been very engaged with the Congolese people. You have initiated a petition back in November. That petition has had a great success. It has over 6,000 signatures, if I'm not mistaken, and you also have brought the Canadian Congolese community to the Parliament to demand to the Harper government to change its policy toward the Congo. And now you have created a group, a parliamentary lobbying group that is called the Canadian Friends of Congo. But before we go to it, I need to find out what is the official position for the Canadian government toward the Congolese situation, and specifically the crisis that we are witnessing in the eastern part of Congo, where there is a Rwandese rebel group M23.
It's almost a year ago that the elections were held in Congo. We've seen the results of the elections. There was only 6 Canadian official observers from the government of Canada in Congo. That it was not an adequate number. A lot of Congolese said that we should have had more numbers. Certainly would have affected the outcome of the election. We have what is called the Parliamentary Friends of the DRC, and these are members of Parliament that have gotten together and are advocating for changes in the Congo, are advocating for the Canadian government to get involved in the Congo. We had some small successes to the point that the Parliamentary Friends of the DRC, as well as the Parliamentary Friends of the extinction of atrocities under Romeo Dallaire. We wrote a letter to the Prime Minister just before he had gone over to the Congo, and when he was in Kinshasa, he was very adamant and very firm with the government of DRC, and he said to them that atrocities would not be tolerated anymore. So small steps have progressed, but lately the Canadian government's, I would say, radio silence, if you want me to say it as such, not involvement in the NM23, no participation in the UN and involvement. I think that we need to make sure that we let the government know that the Canadian diaspora of the DRC is certainly not appreciative of the fact that the Canadians have not taken a position on what is happening on the eastern part of Congo, all the atrocities, and we have to watch that closely, as well as engage the UN in order to make sure that the atrocities stop and peace and democratic movement gets returned to the eastern part of Congo.
Honorable, thank you for this intake. A lot of sources, media sources, not only than 2 weeks ago, New York Times has brought an article that was presenting the Congolese situation as a situation where the international community is interested to a balkanizations of the DRC Congo. Through these balkanizations, a portion of Congo, the richest part of Congo, the Kivu, would be detached from Congo and perhaps being given to the Rwanda. This is sort of a speculation. If this would be the case, most Congolese are standing against the Congo balkanizations. If this would be a project, what would be the Canadian position, and what would be the position for the Liberal Party, which has governed this country for a long period of time?
Our position is that we would like to keep the country together. Our position is that the DRC under a democratic government will flourish and move forward, and we have to do whatever we can to let the rest of the world know and the international community know that the position of the Special Parliament Friends of DRC is that we are not in favor of the balkanization, we're not in favor of breaking up the country, and we're not in favor of what is going right now currently in Rwanda, between Rwanda and the DRC, and especially what's going on in the DRC, that democracy is not there. We need to make sure that democracy gets returned, a democratically elected government, and the government represents all the people, and we have to make sure that the atrocities, what is happening right now in the Congo, whether it be rape, where it be people getting moved out of their homes, and all the atrocities that come with that's happening there right now, get stopped, and people have a peaceful life and there's a better tomorrow for their children.
Well, thank you, Honorable. I guess most Congolese will be viewing, and the Friends of Congo for sure will be viewing this broadcast, will be very interested to follow up on that, because that's become a very concern for most Congolese. Which brings me to the questions. A couple of months ago, we have had a meeting with the Congolese community, both Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa, and you have presented to the Congolese community what we call the Canadian Parliamentary Friends of Congo. Is it possible for you to explain to the Congolese and to the Canadians what is the Parliamentary Friends of Congo and perhaps its missions?
Usually we have in the House of Commons parliamentary friendship groups. So Canada, Greece Parliamentary Friendship Association, Canada, United States Parliamentary Friendship Association. And these are parliamentary groups here, parliamentary groups there that exchange ideas and have different points of view, and we discuss what's good for Canada, and they advocate in their country about Canada, and we advocate in our country about their country. Having witnessed what happened in the Congo last year, and a lot of people said that the elections were not democratically elected, we chose to have a different route, and that route was Parliamentary Friends of the Congo, or DRC. These are parliamentarians that advocate for the betterment of the Congo. These are parliamentarians that advocate about the Canadian government to get involved. These are parliamentarians that advocate about democracy and the democratic rule of the Congo. Something similar was struck with the Parliamentary Friends of Burma. And 23 years ago, in Burma, in Myanmar today, there was a dictatorship that took over and overthrew Aung Suu Kyi, the legitimate government. And Parliamentary Friends of Burma, for the last number of years, were advocating, pushing for, to push the Canadian government to make sure that they advocated for democracy in Burma. Having similarly led that organization myself, we did form under my movement, my leadership, my humble work. We did advocate and form the Parliamentary Friends of the DRC. These are Canadian parliamentarians that join together. They have a common view. They have a view of pushing for the betterment of DRC, pushing for democracy in the DRC, and pushing for all the atrocities to stop. This is not a group that has parliamentary exchanges back and forth. This is a parliamentary group in Canada that pushes for democratic rule of the Congo. We've asked the community to get in touch with other members of Parliament. We asked the community to push for the advocacy group for other people to join. I know that members of the community have approached members of Parliament and asked them to join, and we're moving forward. The other thing that we also are working with the community to do is the Canadian Friends of the DRC. This is a group in Canada that advocates for, works parallel with the Parliamentary Friends, and they're there to advocate and work for and push for advocate for democratic rule in the Congo and peaceful situation. And this is where I have to thank my friends in the DRC diaspora, in Montreal, in Ottawa, in Toronto, in Edmonton, in Calgary, in Regina, in Vancouver, that they've stepped forward and they formed cells. And these cells will be getting together, the small associations, in order to have an umbrella organization, in order to move forward. However, we do have to know, and I know some people will say, well, we're edgy and we want to do it today and then let's get it done. Folks, Rome was not built in a day. It takes time, and we got to move slowly. The next election in the Congo will be 4 years away. There's difficulties that are happening. We all have to work together slowly and step in foundations that are solid in order for us to make sure that the situation in the DRC is something that the international community knows, and if things go well in Canada, then we can advocate for an international movement in order to push for and advocate for democracy as well as the rule of law and a better tomorrow in the DRC.
Well, Honorable, we have witnessed the Congolese community here in Canada, even in overseas. Those who have viewed the interview we had in the Parliament, they seem to be very interested to move forward. But the question remains: what specifically you, as the Canadian parliamentary Friends of Congo, expecting for the Congolese diaspora, the Canadian Congolese diaspora, alongside with the Friends of Congo, to push this movement forward? I'm talking about financially support or like getting involved with it. What are you expecting specifically from those who are willing to push this matter forward?
We have to be careful what we ask for and what we demand and what we're looking the community to do. I wouldn't say that we're looking for funds or monetary support. What we're looking for is the community to come together and working with them to ask other parliamentarians to join. We're looking for the backing of the community, if I can say it as that, to know that we have the voice of the community and to know that we have the guidance of the community for us to do it. That's what we're looking for at this very moment. And we're looking for the community to come together as an umbrella, or either an umbrella organization of the Canadian Friends of the Congo, or of the DRC, or another, the Congress, Canadian Congress of the DRC, however you want to put it together, however you want to slice and dice it. We're looking for your support. We're looking for your support to get other members to join, and we're looking for a movement, a grassroots movement, in order to make sure that we have the momentum in order to support changes and to voice our changes.
Honorable, would that be possible with this movement going forward to perhaps negotiate or initiate a movement or an action that would perhaps bring the Bill C-300 that demands the Canadian mining corporations to respect the human right and to respect also the OECD guideline when it comes to Congo? Would that be possible with this movement?
Everything is possible. The movement, we only have a handful of members of Parliament. We've got to get more. The bill that you're talking about, it was something that was brought forward by John McCain, Member of Parliament for Scarborough-Guildwood, Liberal Member of Parliament. Certainly that didn't pass. It is possible that this could be returned and looked upon the floor. And we also, we have to put respect not only to the Congo as parliamentarians, but to all of Africa. This week we had a bill that we were going to be able, last week we voted down a bill that we're going to be able to support cheaper drugs for Africa. That certainly did not pass. And these are the things that we have to make sure that, because although Africa, some people, historically call it the dark continent, I beg to differ. I think Africa is tomorrow. I think Africa, through the DRC, through Nigeria, through Uganda, is the portal that we can explore Africa, we can work with Africa, because most of the riches in the world are located in that continent. And if we don't engage, and if we don't use the portal to make sure that we bring stability in Africa, and we do not support violence, we do not support all the stuff that's going on over there, make sure that we put a stop to it, that Africa could be a jewel for tomorrow. It's a jewel in the rough that can shine. It's a diamond in the rough that we need to polish and make it shine. And for many, many years, for centuries, the Western world is taking a second attitude to Africa. This is not third world. This is tomorrow's world, and we've got to make sure that we're involved. regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of the religion you believe in, regardless of the language you speak, you have to make sure that everybody's at the table, everybody is there represented as we move forward.
Honorable, je sais que vous parlez français et beaucoup de Congolais se disent, nous sommes venus au Canada, le Canada nous a donné une maison, il nous a donné cette citoyenneté, nous sommes devenus de nouveaux Canadiens, mais quand ils observent l'environnement politique du Canada, ils voient qu'effectivement le Parti libéral peut être une plateforme, vu sa politique multiculturelle, où ils peuvent s'intégrer et éventuellement travailler dur pour, pourquoi pas, faire élire les députés d'origine africaine, congolais ou éventuellement ethnoculturels. Pour vous, qu'est-ce que ces Congolais, ces Africains, ces immigrants en provenance de pays considérés ici comme étant ethnoculturels may do to become either eligible or perhaps to have a chance to become a future MP and MPs?
Merci pour la question. Mon français est très peu. I understand more than I am able to speak. And if you don't pronounce it right, I think that you might get yourself into trouble. So allow me to poser the answer en anglais.
Bien sûr, yeah.
We in the Liberal Party welcome different minorities to get involved, different people from different ethnicities to get involved. We want to make sure that even you're heard as a member of Parliament, either you're heard as an advisor, adjoint, if I may say this, but we want everybody to get involved. We're going through right now the process of a leadership race, and that's going to be something that people will come and choose a leader by April, middle of April, April 14th, 2013. There is two categories within the Liberal Party that you can support. There's something that says, as a supporter, you can go on the website and sign up as a supporter, and that will allow you to vote for the next leader of a party. It doesn't cost you anything, or you can become a member and pay your membership. As a supporter, you will have the right to voice who do you want to represent you, who do you want your leader, and that you can do at the website, www.liberal.ca. So do go on and sign up. And we encourage young men and ladies, regardless of their background, be it African, be it European, be it Chinese, be it South Asian, to get involved. And we would like to see more members of Parliament get involved and more people run from different ethnic backgrounds. So the field is open, the Liberal Party is welcoming you, and we would like for you to join and make a difference. Regardless if you believe in the Liberal Party, the Conservative, or the NDP, or the Bloc, or the Green, you have to get involved. You have to make a difference. And la différence est vous travaillez avec des partis of your choice, libéraux, les Verts, les conservateurs, le Bloc, et changement de communauté au Canada. How are we doing my French so far?
Well, the French is pretty good. Les amis, comme vous savez, le Canada est un très beau pays, c'est une grande démocratie. Le Canada respecte les valeurs des droits humains. Ici, beaucoup d'Africains, beaucoup des Asiatiques, beaucoup d'Indiens, le peuple du monde, le peuple de Diaspora viennent et retrouvent leur compte au niveau du Canada. D'ailleurs, au niveau du Parlement, nous avons beaucoup de parlementaires qui proviennent d'ailleurs. Honorable, it's going to be very difficult to leave this conversation or perhaps to end these conversations, but what I do know for sure is that in the Congolese community, you have become a symbol, you have become a rock star. Most people of our community keep on talking about you and they want to get involved, and I'm sure through this interview they will find a way, they would see the information for the office here, the phone numbers, the website liberal.ca, so they can get in touch. But since our interview has to end, what could possibly be your thought to the Congolese, to the world, to the friends of Congo who are viewing this interview at this time?
Look, I'm humbled. I'm humbled the fact that you told me that I've become a symbol, a rock star. I'm a humble man. As a member of Parliament for 24 years, I would say to you two things. One, get involved. Two, get involved. It doesn't matter the age that you are or who you are or where your background is to make a difference. And to the friends of the DRC, the Congo, to the friends of Africa, to the friends of the world, it's up to you to get involved, and it's up to you to make a difference, and it's up to you to really make a distinct difference. I can only do it with your help, and I cannot do it alone. So please, do join the movement. I do ask your members of parliament to join to the Parliamentary Friends of the DRC, because together we can make a difference for the people of Congo and to that part of the world. I'm also the parliamentary chair, Canada, Nigeria Parliamentary Friends Association, and also the Somali Canada Parliamentary Friends Association. So I do have a little bit of knowledge about Africa. I've been to Africa a couple of times, and again, it's the continent of tomorrow. It's the continent that the 21st century, Africa belongs to the 21st century, or vice versa, the 21st century belongs to Africa, and you can make a difference. I can be reached at my community constituency office at 416-321-5454, 321-4545, area code 416, and I'm looking forward to continue the conversation, and you can certainly get me through my website, Karygiannismp.com. And it's jim@karygiannismp.com, which is my email. I'm there to listen, I'm there to work with you, and I'm looking forward to, in the years ahead, with the diaspora, the African diaspora, and especially the diaspora of the people from the Congo, because I'll be more than proud to sit side by side by a Canadian from the Congolese diaspora, or African Canadian, or people from different ethnic backgrounds, as we move forward, and somebody to be in the House of Commons representing not only your community but other communities. Because a member of Parliament cannot just represent the community that he comes from. I can't say that I'm of Greek descent and I'm only representing the Greek diaspora. I represent serious people, but however, being a Greek, should I need to voice a concern about Greece, I always do. So I'm sure that people will get elected from the Congo or other parts of the world that will bring forward the diverse ideas as we move forward. So I want to thank you. Merci tout le monde. I want to wish everybody season's greetings and Happy New Year. And may 2013 be a year of peace and a better world for tomorrow. And everybody, Merry Christmas.
Sur ce, les réseaux de la diaspora vous disent merci d'avoir suivi cette interview. Nous avons été honorés d'avoir honorable Jim Karygiannis sur cette chaîne, et nous espérons qu'il reviendra encore davantage dans l'avenir, comme vous le demanderez. Nous vous remercions et nous vous souhaitons de bonnes fêtes de fin de l'année. Au revoir.
Au revoir, merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.